Hello? Hello. Happy Sunday to the world. Today, we are working on some save game, load game logic, just getting the janky pipeline working before doing a deeper dive into making it a little bit more resilient than it is today. So I made a really basic uh, main menu. I think I showed this last time. This is not our art. This is 100 Years of Solitude, which is one of our inspirations. This is, I think, one of the cover arts for the book. We will not be keeping this in the game, I promise. And there's our load logic. Currently no loading screen. I will probably make one. I was thinking about this. The way that it would probably work is that we would. Huh. I'm thinking probably what we'll do is we'll have a coroutine that handles the time delta for how long a level is taking to load, and will intelligently, if it's taking a longer time to load for one reason or another, pop up a loading screen. But otherwise, so we start with this. There might be other metrics that we can use that are better than time, so maybe level size or something. But that's that's a problem for future Ken. Okay, what do I want to do? Um, So I've created one thing that I'm probably going to do. We have a lot of managers, and I'm not necessarily married to having all of them exist because it's getting a little confusing. Uh, I don't think any of them are necessarily unimportant. Level manager is probably fine. I'm convincing myself of this as I go, but um, fair warning: the code for all of these right now is super messy and inefficient. It's mostly just sort of verifying that there isn't some specific reason why I can't do things the way that I'm doing them. I'm going to want to make a lot of these things asynchronous and have coroutines that handle, you know, state updates as things load. That's just not a thing yet, but it will be. Okay, so actually, here's a question: why does this not work? So if the seed is loaded at this point, shouldn't we be? Hmm. Tell you what, that feels like it should work. Let's see if it does. Crash that to an instance of an object. Yeah, so this is what was happening. So these are singletons. They get initialized. Uh, so is the problem? So my thought is basically that in theory the scene should have. Um, should it? Maybe it shouldn't. Yeah, that's an interesting problem. So I think actually singletons basically are a utility class that I've made that use the don't destroy on load flow to stay as a global. So awake is called when the script instance is being loaded. That feels like okay. I'm hmm. So if we have loaded the base scene, which the container and item manager should exist within. Then I'm struggling to understand exactly. So whenever these guys call their awake methods, right? Close some of these. Confusing myself. So I'm gonna. There's that. Showing off my D&D. Browsing YouTube is like 90% cinematic music because I'm just trying to find battle music for my party. It's like half of what I do on YouTube. Flames games. Showing off my D&D. Yes, I am. Go away. Okay. So, what I think should be happening is that the instance shouldn't be null once this awake method is run. But I'm wondering if the... So my understanding of awake is that it runs when an enabled script instance is being loaded. So I thought that the difference between awake versus start, yeah, you should use awake to set up references between scripts and use start, which is called after awake, to pass any information back and forth. So start is called on the first frame, but awake should be called when the scene is loaded, right? Like that's, I mean, obviously not, but Oh. So yeah, I'm puzzled. I might ask the robot here. Claude's Sonnet is out, if anyone's using that. Terrifying and exciting. Programmers everywhere. So let's see. Oh gosh. Good job. Discourage. Alright. I actually don't hate that. So I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna lose my job this year. Okay. Uh, right. So if we go back to the main menu and start now, then our save coroutine. Seems to just wait forever. Sus. Can we validate that it is in fact waiting forever? Right. Oh, okay, that's record notification one. Hmm. Did I screw something up? Because this looks like it's behaving as expected. Yield return. Do we? I don't get it. Access control issue or something? Containers, that looks fine to me. What's the problem? I don't actually know what try catching looks like in C sharp, but maybe it's just like it. Huh. And you're telling me that getting rid of this fixes the issue? I'm assuming. Oh. Well, I'll tell you what, that is interesting. So, sure. I'll try this. So, All right. I'm starting to doubt the robot. This felt good. I'm sort of confused why it only runs. Once. Oh no. Okay, that's interesting. So we do make it past it. I guess to be clear, if I move this out. Oh no, I fucked up again. All right, well, whatever. No, so it's definitely that we're never escaping from this coroutine, and I'm just sort of trying to understand. I do the same thing. No, so doing this. Logged message. Exactly what I just did, but I will show it to the dude. Oh, it sucks, dude. This is pretty obviously one of those things that I'm sure is very straightforward when you have more of a grasp on how coroutines function, but I do not. My understanding is that this actually is what it should be, is that you're starting a wait for managers. Wait for managers is its own coroutine. Waiting for the managers to initialize. They initialize. We're good. Is the problem that we're doubling up on managers or something? New game, base scene. Is that we're seeing two logs? No, it doesn't seem to. Managers initialize, and no, that actually makes sense because we logged this twice. So that means that we are getting here, which is so weird because it means that yes, managers are being initialized. The thing that sucks is I actually really like this solution. I mean, I guess one question is, as stupid as this is, does this work? Then So what happens if we do it in the same coroutine? Super weird, dude. Yeah, so simple task. The execution pauses and resumes in the following frame. That was what I honestly that's what sucks because I actually is there a way huh. So we are a persistent singleton. So my working assumption is that this has something to do with the object that the coroutine is running on no longer existing. So how do we validate that? So like I don't that doesn't feel like it should be the thing because it should be DDOL, which I believe lives in its own. I feel like okay. I'm definitely making assumptions here. So the loading manager lives in don't destroy unload, which I firmly thought was its own scene. So am I wrong about that? So there's all the transforms children. Object don't destroy unload. Only works for root game objects or components on root game objects. And it doesn't return a value. Hmm. Let's so if we make this additive and we initialize these guys, set so then we would do like scene manager, set active scene. Not base scene. I don't know. Base scene. Set active scene.
Hey, man.
Oh my gosh.
Surprise.
No, dude, they give you a heart attack. I think
Sorry.
my Discord note. So something has stopped the ping when people join the server.
Oh, weird.
So that came out of nowhere.
I see.
Woo. Okay, spicy. I gotta get that fixed. How are you?
I'm good. Let me hold on.
Oh
There
my
we go. I'm getting
gosh.
because I was getting the echo on the stream, and I was like, oh no, I can't do that. Uh, yeah, I'm hanging in there. Sorry, I haven't caught more of these lately.
I mean, I'm doing them basically every day, so you're good.
Yeah,
It's more of a getting in the habit kind of thing. So
I got
please feel no obligation. It's more that I like. I realized that I was doing enough of this that this is basically free content, and more importantly, we spent when we were doing the first devlog. I don't even know how long we had to spend collecting footage because we didn't have any footage.
it. Mm,
So if we have these devlogs of me just doing development,
right, you've got plenty to pick
we've
from.
got plenty to pick from when we need to. Yeah, and also like there's some stuff where we want to talk about bugs that were happening, and I don't want to go back and recreate the bugs.
Right.
Well, I mean you can, but that would be even more tedious. So it seems good. There's currently so I think I was talking with Max about this. The good number of views. Only about 20 of them are unique on the first devlog, and we still haven't gotten a. So the moment that I'm going to be really excited about is when we get a subscriber that is not friends and family.
Right. Yeah.
That's going to happen. I maintain it will happen. It hasn't happened yet.
It definitely would. Uh, I'm subbed. I know. Uh, Ren has plugged the channel in her Discord. I've plugged the channel in at least one Discord that has like a I'm in that has like a little promote your friends channel. I'm trying to find
You,
some other places to plug it, but
you know, we are going about building the game in a way that I think is the right way. A lot of, unfortunately, like a lot of devs on YouTube kind of, I don't want to say shill, like, you know, hustle the way you want to hustle. But what a lot of people will
right.
do is that they'll start with like assets, basically.
Mhm.
So they'll, and you've probably seen a lot of this stuff of where like a lot of people's devlog one will look like a finished game, but that's entirely because there's no actual gameplay mechanics or like saves or anything. They just created a scene basically,
Right. Right.
and humans are visual creatures, so so people are way more engaged by that than, hey, have you ever wondered how games from the 90s were able to make you look like you were behind a 2D object? But I think
There you
ultimately this is how games actually get made. But
yeah.
Max is working on some art assets, and I think within the next couple months, maybe a month and a half, honestly, the devlogs will be a lot snazzier.
Very cool.
Fingers crossed. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. We'll have to see. I'm trying to figure out some very obnoxious asynchronous stuff that, like, to my understanding, should be working. So I'm realizing that I probably just don't understand how certain things work in
Mhm.
Unity. There's like a lot of pseudo async stuff. Anyway, how are you? How's your week been?
I'm good. Week's been clipping along fine. Work they finally are giving me some assessments to actually assess at work. Uh, Mage is going well. Things have just been, a little busy, but good.
Plugging along.
Hmm.
Are you an Elden Ringer?
I'm not. I am gonna try and get back into it now that uh Shadow of the Erd Tree is out because I should. Um, and I'm a little less stressed than I was when I tried to initially get into the game. But yeah, apparently the the expansion's been amazing. Um,
It,
watch a little bit of people playing it.
the so the part of all of this that has made me the happiest has been FromSoft's DLCs are notoriously difficult.
Right.
Um, and the apparently one of the primary victims of this has been Asmongold, who is apparently has apparently like just had like multiple meltdowns on stream,
No.
which
Uh,
nothing could make me happier. That's probably not something I should be saying on stream, but I kind of love the guy who shit talked relentlessly um about how much he uh like how the game wasn't as hard as people were making it out to be because he went through the entire game with a jump attack halberd build. Uh is now experiencing that. Like, so the thing is what FromSoft does, and this is actually like it speaks to how much they are actual masters of game difficulty. They make mandatory bosses in the base game by default give you big windows to attack them that don't look like that, but they'll do things where like they kind of walk slowly and like square off against you, and that gives you like aggression windows.
yeah.
And what that means is that like there are certain types of builds that will carry you through the game if you just do that. But they are completely merciless when it comes to the actual DLC. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I fucked something up.
I remember. I mean, I kind of vaguely remember this happening when DLC for Dark Souls 2 came out, and there was just one boss that was murdering everybody.
Yeah, Artorias and Manus from Dark Souls 1 were a thing.
Yes.
That was Dark Souls 1.
Oh no. I'm thinking. Isn't it? Isn't there like like some combo of like a human-sized boss and a wolf that just absolutely murderized everyone in the Dark Souls 2 DLC? Or am I confusing that with different?
Oh, huh. I'm trying to think of who that would be. Because Dark Souls 2, I thought it had two DLCs. It might not have.
I believe it did.
But I was thinking like because you have like the Great Iron King or whatever it was, and then there was the Frost DLC. Dark Souls 2 was a weird game relative to like a lot of the way that FromSoft releases things. Dark Souls.
Champions Gravetender and Gravetender Grave.
Oh,
Oh, it's from the third one. Okay.
that tracks. Yeah, I was gonna say that Dark Souls 3's DLC was notorious for being fucking vicious.
Yeah, he's from Ashes of Arendelle.
Yeah, Ashes of Ariandel, and then the Ringed City was the really famous one. That was like so the final boss of the Dark Souls series was in the Ringed City, and so suffice it to say, I remember people talking about it like it was. I actually haven't played that DLC, but having watched the final boss, first of all, like an amount of health that is just ungodly. I love FromSoft. Wonderful company, wonderful people.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just not.
I own every single one of their games, and I have not beaten a single one.
I, you know, what's interesting is that I've never just based on opportunity because they don't come out that often. I've never been able to play anyone on release except for Elden Ring. And I'm not now because I'm busy with this, but I played like
Right.
Elden Ring proper. This is funny. On release to such a like ridiculous degree that I forgot that I had a bunch of like obligations. one weekend, and my parents were super worried about me. So like I hadn't charged my phone.
Oh,
So
oh,
so so so
you got
so
real into
so I got, yeah, oh dude, like I woke up on Saturday and just played it, cuz I, and in fairness, like I knew that like I knew that I had something that weekend, but I think I thought that it was Sunday or something.
it.
So I wasn't even thinking. I like assumed that we would do stuff on Sunday. I was playing Elden Ring, and my phone was there, but it was dead, and I hadn't thought to check it. But apparently, so eventually Brent hopped in Discord from like his vacation home and was like, "Hey, are you dead?" And I was like, "No." And he
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, your parents were worried that like you'd electrocuted yourself or something because
Maybe
they've been."
let someone know you're breathing.
Yeah, dude, well, I mean, okay, in fairness, I don't even think I've been playing it that much. I think it was more just that like I was so, but like they sent me an email and I wasn't checking my email, and I'm usually pretty responsive, but I dove into it, and that was a lot
Yeah.
of fun because it was nobody knew anything about the game at that time. So everyone
Yeah.
was on equal footing. Actually finding the Ranny ending meant something at that point because not everybody.
There wasn't a guide for it. Exactly.
Yeah, and that was really joyful, but I was really kind of curious about, so I don't know if you know about this. They added some cut content back into the game after patch 1.
Oh no, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, so there were these characters who had almost no ending for their storylines, and that had people speculating that there was a secret ending to the game. Because likewise, Mikola wasn't really in the game, and like there was this character Nefeli Lu, that's the daughter of Godfrey, and so everybody was like fiddling around, being like, there are these things in the files, and there are these quests that should supposedly be reachable, but we can't find them. So it was only that like FromSoft revealed all at once, yeah, no, the quests weren't done, so we had to disable them. We're adding them back in the next patch, and
Very.
that patch dropped right as I passed, because they didn't say when they were releasing the patch. That patch dropped right when I finished the point of no return. So I couldn't
Great
actually,
time for it.
so I couldn't do it unless I wanted
Yeah.
to do a whole other playthrough. And I got salty, finished the game, and I haven't really picked it up since. But I will eventually. I definitely want to do this DLC, but I wanna like allocate a week for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I was like, I have to beat either this or Baldur's Gate before July. But I'm getting a call, so I will talk to you later, man.
All right, dude. And it doesn't make any noise when they leave either. That is bizarre. Um, so my understanding of coroutines is that what should be happening here is that we wait until the next. Is it possible that the coroutine is interrupted? Hmm. You start a card routine on some mono behavior when that object is destructed. You can use don't destroy. Don't destroy called an object. The object is not removed from the scene when the next scene loads. When your card keep running, gives level change. See, that's what I thought. So I think that what should be happening, unless I'm missing something, is that don't destroy on load should be getting called on loading manager. We end up with this. Um, Black screen is here. We load game. We have a base scene. Okay, and we want to get rid of this thing that's... Okay, I guess in fairness I should validate that same thing doesn't happen. But the point is that we want to wait a frame. See, yeah, this is the part that's kind of baffling me. Now, the only other thing that I can kind of imagine is that we're somehow reinitializing the name. Yeah. So what I'm curious about is that if we've initialized a static instance for save game manager, loading manager, and game state manager, which is what I would expect. We load the autosave. Okay. Save game loading game state. UI camera container input item level assigning inputs. No. What is going on? Huh. And I guess, I mean, okay, so we have a few things here that are clues. And maybe one of the big ones is that removing all of this as silly as this is, I just want to sort of see that. So my guess is that this will work, but maybe not for the reason that we want it to. Fading from black, yeah. So loading game, autosave, loading base scene, loading demo level, fading in from black. Cool. So that's working. I also don't think that I need. I don't think that the problems with singleton collisions. That seems unlikely. What that probably has to mean. grumble. All right. Can I disable warnings for now, just so that we're not cluttering everything? The thing that I'm kind of puzzled about here. So that works. What if we skip a frame in a bunch of these places? So if I like, after loading the base scene, if I skip a frame, what happens? So that's what it is. It has nothing to do with checking, with accessing any namespaces or doing anything else. It's specific. It's specific to the fact that the coroutine dies when we change frames. Right? Shit. So we have a persistent singleton. That's our game object. Oh, man. What could it... I'm kind of wondering if we should do this with delegates. Hmm. I mean, I get that, but I'm kind of just so I'm kind of interested in why this isn't working in the first place, because my understanding is that it would. Um, hmm. So a coroutine is a function that can suspend its execution until the given yield instruction finishes. I thought that yield return null. The program will start the loop, and if you happen to be yield, it simply runs all iterations within the same frame. If you had millions of iterations, then it would most likely block your program until all iterations are done, and then continue. On a figure object. If you yield null, then it will run again next frame. If I go here and say wait till next frame, that's what I thought this did. Because it seems like something is no longer valid when we end up in the next frame, and I'm trying to figure out what that would even be. That is really interesting. Is it because we're tweening? This is a really stupid question, but I'm wondering if it's because I don't see how that would affect anything. No. Nope. Okay. Just remember loading base scene is where we stop. So loading base scene, and just for context, everything would work. It's only once we finally delay a frame, right? So if I do it now, we should see, I mean, we won't see anything actually, but shit, yeah. But if I were to go back here and boom and manually deactivate this and then load autosave. Oh. So I really do think the issue has something to do with changing the base scene and the fact that that is interrupting. Weird. So I think I have to read up on this because this shouldn't be a thing, right? Like unless I'm fundamentally missing something, that this coroutine shouldn't be. It should be okay. This is silly, but let's just do additive for no reason. And we have systems, event system, game statement, whatever. Yeah, I mean, that works. I think. I mean, it kind of works. No, it does. So, oh, that's super weird. So, at least it gives us a clear picture of what the problem is, which is that loading scene mode dot single, for whatever reason, seems to pretty conclusively. Dear. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to figure with that. I think at this point it's probably time for me to get off and read documentation. So I'll spare anyone out there who might one day be watching this. Well, you know what? Why not? So, all right. Closes all current loaded scenes and loads a scene. It doesn't matter which class the coroutine method is defined on, it only matters which mono behavior start coroutine is called. Oh. Okay. I don't. I need to read through my code, but my instinct is that that is what the problem is. So what is? Hmm. Let's trace this. So where would this be getting called? Okay, if I had to guess the issue. Okay, maybe what the problem is that we are calling the load menu script. And yeah, I guess it would be load entry. So load entry has the okay. That tracks. So this okay. So you can't start yeah. So load entry is destroyed before the coroutine finishes running. Egg on my face. So probably what we want to do is make load game a separate exposed method so that so we'll call this load game coroutine and public void load game. Make this private. Um, I don't know if it's going to be smart enough to pick up the reference. Probably will. Oh, no. Well, I'm going to have to loading. So that should, I believe, launder it. This is really important. So, okay, so because this is going to die, we can't start the coroutine here. The coroutine needs to be collectively managed by the DDOL singleton. Okay, okay, that's on me. Then what should happen here is, well, let's see it. So, I'm gonna be bold, and so here's the base scene. Clean up this code later, I promise. Uh, just give me a sec. So, and then probably should fix that, but we're gonna ignore it for now. All right. With any luck, what this should mean is that now that the coroutine is being managed by the singleton, we won't have the issue anymore. Let's go. No issues. Everything's perfect. You're welcome. All right. That was a huge waste of time. But at least we're back at it. Lordy. All right. Well, hopefully no one will ever see that. Well, tell you what, it's doing the thing. So how much did I delete and screw up while I was making that happen? I guess first and foremost, we no longer really need these. No longer really need these. Unload task. Fading from black. That. See an additive. So the issue is not that. Yeah. Okay. So single is not a problem. It's that we were killing the the mono behavior that the coroutine lived on because I'm stupid. Okay. That should basically mean that we're good here. I guess that really the next big step, which might be an after dinner thing, is going to be to handle yeah, well, I really dislike this. So okay, let's do one thing at least. First and foremost is go into our prefabs. UI. Pause menu. And I think what I'm going to do is take this root menu, add a panel for the moment. Nothing particularly creative. That just killed the image. Because we were all thinking it. The image was ugly. All right. I have been rock climbing for most of the day, and I am hangry. So I will, in fact, be. How long have I been streaming for? I'm trying to decide whether or not to apologize. You got a good climbing for most of the day. You got a good hour and a half out of me, and I am hangry. So, farewell. Be well. No one is watching.